They are at it again." Alwyn shook his head in disbelief. "You'd think as they would not have the time to let the food pass their lips, so busy are they arguing." "Not arguing, Alwyn." The maidservant cast the journeyman an angry glance. "Master Godfrey has mostly listened to her tongue a-lashing of him for no good reason, and your tongue should be kept between your teeth, girl. You've neither the years nor the station to comment on your betters." The cook brandished a long-handled wooden spoon and waved it accusingly at the girl. "Many's the couple who rub along mighty well with raised voices when the silent sit in miserable disunion. What do you, a maid in name at least, know of the wedded state?" Having buried 2 husbands, Godder spoke with authority. "I'm just saying what I sees," mumbled Runhild, and looked sulky. "Then you should not be looking. Now." Godder pointedly ignored Runhild and spoke only to Alwyn. "It will be about those amber beads he would not buy for her. Always wanting things she is, and I says it's because she is bored and idle. What she needs is a babe to keep her occupied. That will put an end to all this." She sniffed. "And them married over a year now." Alwyn looked shocked and blushed. "None of our—" His mumbled response was cut short by a high-pitched cry of anger, and the sound of pottery breaking, and a clatter coming from the adjoining chamber. All 3 looked at each other, though nothing was said for a moment. "That'll be the 2nd pitcher gone since Advent. Osworth Potter's wife says this household is keeping him in business almost on its own," sighed Godder, and pursed her lips. "And it was me who has to scrape bits of food off the wall afterwards, since I heard the pottage bowl follow it," murmured Runhild, pulling a face. "Cleaning is part of your work, but I makes things to eat, not throw. 'Tis I as should be most aggrieved, and at least the wooden bowls do not break easy." Godder felt the girl needed to be kept in her place, firmly at the bottom of the household pecking order. Alwyn, not a man who flourished amidst strife, hunched his broad shoulders. What with the 2 women of the kitchen being always at odds, and a master and mistress whose relationship seemed to be conducted so that half Worcester might hear it, what wonder was it that he so often had the headache? He blamed it upon his master, for the tone of the household must surely be set by him, and he was an argumentative man, with both his kin and his neighbours. He felt sorry for Mistress Blanche, poor lady, who had revealed to him once that her first husband had been as bullish a man, and she had learnt that being meek and mild did not work. She had said that she had as well have been the rushes trodden underfoot, and she would not be so again, even though her father had sold her to the wealthy burgess. Alwyn gave thanks he was not a woman. They finished their own meal in silence, and then, since all was quiet from the main chamber, Runhild went to clear the table and possibly the wall. Mistress Blanche had evidently withdrawn to enjoy her ire in the privacy of the bedchamber, which was a rather grand word for the small chamber, reached by a very steep ladder stair that occupied the space beneath the rafters in the rear third of what was a modest hall. Godfrey Bowyer was sat, slightly hunched, with a beaker in his hand and a frown between his brows. Neither was uncommon, and Runhild glanced into the beaker of ale that stood at his elbow. It was still 3/4 full, so there was no point in her asking if he desired it to be refilled from a new pitcher. She also bent to collect the shards of broken pitcher at the base of the wall into the thrown wooden bowl. She was surprised his eyes did not rest upon her as she leant to take the other empty pottage bowl from in front of him, for Godfrey liked to leer at the way her bosom moved beneath her gown as she bent forward, as long as the mistress was not in view, and nor did he try to goose her on this occasion.